just different.
We gon' set this off so right. Keep that camera rolling all night. This is a movie, so play your position. Me and my girls out here on a mission. Got 'em looking dead on sight. Can't help but to stare ahead so tight. So bring the lights and keep them flashing. You know how it is, lights, camera, action. We gon' keep this party jumping. Gotta give it a little something just to keep them fellas looking. You know how it is. Got 'em hooked, I got 'em crazy on the music. You know how we do. Let's party all night. Oh, rock until the break of dawn.
Yep.
We gon' set this off so right. Keep that camera rolling all night. This is a movie, so play your position. Me and my girls out here on a mission. Got 'em looking dead on sight. Can't help but to stare ahead so tight. So bring the lights and keep them flashing. You know how it is, life, camera, action. We gon' keep this party jumping. Gotta give it a little something just to keep the fellas looking. You know how it is. Got 'em hooked, I got 'em crazy on the music. You know how we do. Let's party all night. Oh, rock until the break of dawn. We gon' do this all night, all night. Oh, rock until the break of dawn. All night long.
All right, folks, y'all know what it is. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday to y'all. Weekend is here. Summer is winding down. Y'all know what it is, though. This is the show where we let our voices empower. Of course, I got the phenomenal ladies and gentlemen here who are going to give you the latest and greatest on what is in their heads, in their minds, as they let their voices empower. We got Frederick Wilson II. What's up, man?
Sir, what's up? What's good? Happy
What's
Friday.
good? What's good, bro? We got Sister Gunner. We got Phoenix Speaks. We got the life coach of the year. We got
Y'all see he laying it on real thick, y'all.
we got Wake Me Up. Wake Me Up. The Joyous Sisters. We got Letitia Hardison. What's up?
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
All right. We got the life. Do it. We got Get Into It. Yeah. We heard that. We got Get Into It. Let's get into it right there.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's your girl, Miss Vitamin E. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? I'm your favorite YouTuber. Subscribe to Elena TV and get into it.
That's right. And we have our lovely sister who always comes in periodically. She has the phenomenal background, by the way. Phenomenal background. We have Stephanie Tapley in the building. What's up, Stephanie?
Hey, happy Friday.
Hey. So how y'all feeling this week? What y'all feeling like this week? I don't think anybody has any clue or idea what's going on this week, but you guys can let the people know. How y'all feeling this week? What y'all feeling like?
Anxiety on 1,000. To be honest, with everything, with the world events, the back-to-back great losses, we've been taking in 2020 is completely devastating. It's just a sad time right now for everybody. So be strong, y'all. Do not give up. Keep pushing.
I will say it is kind of awkward that 2020 we losing a lot of prominent men of prominence or black people of prominence. I'm putting that out there. Yes, I said it.
Yeah.
Losing black people of prominence and abundance. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I've been saying for years that it's going to start to feel different because growing up when people of prominence died, they were just people that you kind of heard of. But now as we're getting older, there are people that we can more relate to. But with 2020, it's like it's because we've lost people so young and unexpectedly.
Right.
Well, and couple that on top of everything else that's been going on and everything that's stressful and everything that's already very negative, then that just feels like it's another really big blow on top of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Totally agree with that. Sad. All right. So what are we kicking off the show with today? I just would love to know what we're kicking off the show
Mm,
I
Well, I
mean,
guess we're going to start with the heavy first. Um,
yeah.
we lost yet another icon. And saying we've lost an icon is not enough words. This man has accomplished a lot in his 43 years. And Chadwick Boseman is a huge loss. Not only just as a human, but as a man. We fail to have great men to look at. And he was so intentional and so decisive about each and every role that he played and how he conducted himself as a man. Um, so that's a tremendous loss. And you see the people who were close to him pour out their thoughts. It's just a heavy blow.
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely for the people who know him personally, you know? Yeah, for sure.
I can't even talk about Chadwick from Vegas. I can't even do it. I'm gonna have to travel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to Wakanda to speak about Brother Chadwick. Um, and I get it. Like I know, because the Black Panther, that was his iconic role. That was his. But not to diminish that movie or the cultural significance of him in that role, but he was so much more than that. I mean, um, he brought icons to life, as you alluded to. I mean, yeah, he brought T'Challa to life, which was huge, but he also brought James Brown to life. He brought Jackie Robinson to life. Even so much so that Mrs. Robinson, Jackie's widow, was like, "Yo, it's like his performance." She said, "It's like watching Jackie." And I mean, for for a widow to tell you that your portrayal of her husband is like watching the real thing, that's huge. Because I mean, obviously, those of us, none of us, we remember seeing Jackie in his prime, obviously playing for the Dodgers and things like that. So we don't really have we can't compare it to like, okay, well, no, but to get that sign off from his widow is monumental. And then, bringing to life Thurgood Marshall and, so it's, yeah, I mean, he was an icon, even though, his career was short lived, unfortunately, but the cultural impact he had, because when we talk about the importance of representation, so many of the characters that he put on screen, embody that, showing, showing this great man, Thurgood Marshall, but actually, portraying him on screen. Everybody knew about Jackie Robinson, but again, when you can, actually kind of visualize, who he was. And then, with T'Challa, even though that's a fictitious character, but again, we've got all these great Marvel movies and these unfortunate DC movies out here to where you've got little kids looking up to superheroes, but he gave, a whole other culture their superhero to look up to. Because even though, we knew about the Black Panther as a character, but again, we knew about all these characters. But seeing Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., and seeing, Cap on screen and things like that, but then to be able to see our character on screen, and then just how big that movie was culturally, the fact that it was, you had, a predominantly Black cast and Black director and, behind the scenes, the wardrobe artists and everything like that, the fact that it was such a Black production, but it fits seamlessly within this massive universe. So I mean, yeah, like you said, icon is absolutely the appropriate words, regardless of the time that he was with us. Definitely an icon.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And he didn't play any trash roles.
Right.
Like so many people will bow down to a paycheck. And he was very deliberate in how he delivered himself to us. And I read one of his quotes the other day, and I'm paraphrasing here. He said that he hopes when God takes him that he had used every ounce of his talent and left it all here.
Right.
And I think he left it all here.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing to speak to his talent is he wanted to write and direct. He only started acting to be able to relate to actors better. So imagine you have this young man who goes to college, then he goes to study in film school and things like that. And his, the thing that he's thinking is, I want to go in this vein, but let me explore this other option just so I can get better at this craft. And lo and behold, you are amazing at this other lane that you weren't even trying to go down. So again, to talk about using your talent, and if that's the case, he definitely did that.
Yeah. And shout out to Denzel Washington. For those who didn't know, Denzel Washington actually invested into him and paid for his acting classes. So that's major. Shout out to Denzel Washington. I know he was beyond excited to see his growth and to see what he became, and to be there to witness his greatness.
Right.
I know, he's definitely taking it very hard. Just as Michael B. Jordan, they stated he is not taking it well at all. He hasn't even released a statement yet. So
he actually did. I posted on my page.
Okay.
He released it a statement, and I think I got choked up halfway through reading it.
Yeah.
Because it just points to the kind of man that he was.
How he touched people.
Let me see if I can find it on my page in attempt to not cry as I read it, because it was a very.
I'm actually pulling it up right now.
And what'd you say?
I'm actually pulling it up for you right now.
Okay. It was very heartfelt, and man, it's amazing how you cannot meet someone and they leave such an impression upon your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I hope oh, go ahead, Fred.
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, I just want to take this moment to tell people, I hope people look at this situation and really look at themselves and really check themselves, because he experienced a lot of scrutiny on social media with the weight loss. And I didn't know exactly it was cancer, but when I saw him losing a significant amount of weight, I automatically, I don't know, maybe for me working in the nursing field for 9 years, but I automatically just figured he was sickly. Like I said, something has to be going on with him. And when I was reading some of the vicious comments on social media, like I wanted to cry, So I hope people look at this and imagine how he was feeling when he was fighting this battle silently, completely alone.
Right.
So imagine how he was feeling. So I hope people look at this situation. You never know what people are going through. You need to be kind at all times, because people are fighting, silently. People are dealing with a lot. So.
And to that point, again, how amazing was this man that in the prime of his career, when you think about when he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, and then when it escalated to stage 4, like you're talking about, this man filmed the Black Panther movie. He filmed 2 Avengers movies. He filmed, 21 Bridges. He in the prime of his career, but the circle he kept to where 99% of the people, when we learned that Chadwick passed away, was the first time we learned that man was battling cancer. In this day and age where all of your business, as a regular person, just those of us on this panel, how much is our business on social media? But for have this man, an international superstar, but his circle be so tight, so loyal, and so dedicated that nobody put his business out there because he didn't want it out there.
That's a testament for his character, because
exactly
attract what you are or what you put out there. So that's even more of a true testament that they were protective of him.
Right. That they respected him so much that, because let's keep it real. Like in this society, you can sell that news anywhere. You can go to TMZ, be like, yo, I got an exclusive. Yo, give me this or whatever. And then especially somebody, let's say maybe he's another young actor, somebody that's, you don't have a shine. You could easily have stood on Chadwick's shoulders to get a name for yourself. But they had so much respect for that man that nobody did that. That's like Stephanie, like you said, that's a testament to his character.
Dre has pulled up Michael B. Jordan's comment. And I guess I'll read a little bit. um, from his comment. I've been trying to find the words, but nothing comes close to how I feel. I've been reflecting on every moment, every conversation, every laugh, every disagreement, every hug, everything. I wish we had more time. One of the last times we spoke, you said we are forever linked. And now the truth of that means more to me than ever. Since nearly the beginning of my career, starting with all my children, when I was 16 years old, you paved the way for me. You showed me how to be better, honor purpose, and create legacy. And whether you've known it or not, I've been watching, learning, and constantly motivated by your greatness. I wish we had more time. Everything you've given the world, the legends, the heroes that you've shown us we are, will live on forever. But the thing that hurts the most is I now know how much of a legend and hero you are. Through it all, you never lost sight of what you love most. You cared about your family, your friends, your craft, your spirit. You cared about the kids, excuse me, the community, our culture, and humanity. You cared about me. You are my big brother, but I never fully got the chance to tell you or truly give you your flowers while you were here. I wish I had more time. I'm more aware now that than ever that time is short with people we love and admire. I'm gonna miss your honesty, your generosity, your sense of humor, and incredible gifts. I'll miss the gift of sharing space with you and scenes. I'm dedicating the rest of my days to live the way you did, with grace, courage, and no regrets. Is this your king? Yes, he is. Rest in power.
It's touching. And just to show how crazy life works, how to bring things. So obviously everybody knows these two gentlemen are linked for their roles in Black Panther as T'Challa and Eric Killmonger. But in Chadwick's early in his career, when he was on All My Children, he and again, just the kind of man he is, he expressed concerns because he didn't like, the racial undertones and stereotypes of the role that he was playing, and he left the show. His role was recast by Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan was recast in that role. So it's just crazy how things come. You know how these two young men were linked in that situation where Chadwick steps out, Michael B. Jordan walks in and fills those shoes, and then here we go. What was that? That was 20. I want to say like 2006 or something like that. And for it to come, 10 years later and be a part of one of the most iconic movies in the history of the world. So it's crazy how things come full circle and just how things work. The whole, if you believe in meant to be and higher powers and signs and things like that.
Yeah. Wow. What a major loss. A major loss. But you know what? He's a legend. And you know what they say about legends? Legends never die.
Legends
So
never die.
we will always keep his name. His name will never die. I'm sure the world will never let his name die.
Oh, absolutely. And to echo Letitia's point, like he has so many good movies. Like you look at this man's filmography, and there's not a lot of junk. Even bit roles, like he was in the Express story, but he played Floyd Little in the Express.
He
Floyd Little's
played James Brown.
a background character that most people didn't even pay attention to because he wasn't a name at the time. But even in a background role, you're playing a Hall of Fame running back. Like my man just stayed playing legends and
James
very
Brown.
cool characters. And to echo what Stephanie said, like that's the kind of person he was. That's the kind of things that he attracted and was able to attract into his life.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. So like I said, imagine people that really know him.
Let's not talk about. Let's not forget the influence. Let's not forget the road that he had to travel to even become an actor. Let's not forget the people who influenced him as well. Um, there's been a big statement this week saying there is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington.
right.
That needs to be highlighted as well. Another black prominent. I think he's the goat. If you ask me, Denzel Washington is the goat of acting to me. I've looked up to Denzel Washington, many movies he's made, and to be able to to, pass down such greatness, be able to pay for somebody's schooling so that they can actually have their opportunity. Um, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's what we need more in communities and societies as a whole, is to be able to link, to be able to work together, to be able to help each other get to where we need to go. So I just
And
put that out there as
hey,
well.
to add to that, I mean, I definitely I got to shout out my girl, Felicia Rashad, who was one of his teachers and became a mentor. She was actually one of the people that started to raise funds for Chadwick and some other students to go to that program, and so that was kind of how Denzel got involved with that. So I definitely want to give props to Felicia Rashad. And for those who do not know who Felicia Rashad is, first of all, shame on you. That would be Miss Claire Huxtable. My child, I don't care what nobody said. Claire, man, look, man, look. If I find me a Claire Huxtable, it's a wrap. But yeah, so definitely big ups to Felicia Rashad as well, another icon in her own right. So yeah, but to your point, Andre, just people of greatness recognizing the next generation of greatness and giving of themselves to bring in this new generation. As as Michael B. Jordan stated, as Chadwick did for him, and I guarantee a slew of other young actors. So
Yeah. And I'm glad, he was at peace. He was with, family, and to go peacefully in his sleep. Like,
right.
I'm glad he went in peace for sure. Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you have to go, well, we all have to go, but if you unfortunately have to go at such a young age, at least for him to be able to go out like that,
Right.
not the world,
Right.
know his battle and his struggle, to not have to hear people play just anything false about, oh well, let's suck up to him because he's sick, or like, no, have the world get the real you, the real genuine you, know that you're getting the love that you're getting because of who you are and not out of any type of sympathy. And then, like you say, be able to go peacefully in your home, surrounded by your family and your closest loved ones.
That's what I was going to say. That the most amazing thing to me, kind of going back to what both of y'all said, but that he didn't tell anybody about it. I mean, typically you think of colloquially actors that are just trying to get attention. They take whatever role because they're just trying to be out there and put themselves out there. When you tell someone you have an ailment, you often will get a lot of different responses towards you. Some people will all of a sudden have interest in you that they didn't before because they feel sorry for you or pity. And he didn't do any of that. He sacrificed that potential comfort he could have gotten from people understanding or empathizing what he was going through and watching him struggle. He decided not to talk about that because he wanted to focus on what was important, which was building those genuine relationships, having those roles, taking it seriously, and like Michael B. Jordan said, focusing on his spirit, his passion. And he didn't want it a distraction. I think that's even more of a strong character attestment, because a lot of people will tell someone I'm sick because they want a little bit of attention. He didn't, none of that.
Yeah. Even though he had all those surgeries, I believe he had like 11 or 12 surgeries since 2016, and, multiple chemo sessions. And he's amazing to push through that without whining about it and crying about it. And like you said, trying to seek attention from people. Like,
Right.
And also still dedicating to these really high action roles too. I mean, that's a lot if you're sick and going through chemo,
Yeah.
for the intention purpose of how important that movie really was.
right.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point, because I believe he was diagnosed in 2016. That was when Civil War came out, so that was his first time that we saw him on screen as a Black Panther. Now, obviously, the movie was before that, so I don't know if they started filming before that. But that's when you're diagnosed, so that means that it's already in your body, even if you haven't gotten that diagnosis. So again, yeah, so this man played the Black Panther on screen 4 times, high intensity. We saw in the Black Panther movie at the trials where the challenge for the throne. He's got his shirt off. So my dude was ripped up. Great. Like, you were having surgeries, you were going through chemo, you were fighting this deadly disease, and you looked like a prime specimen. And then, so yeah, not only the work that you were doing, but like Stephanie said, the high action roles, 4 Marvel movies, and then 21 Bridges, the Five Bloods, which
the importance of that role too, because that's still part of the mission, because it's not just an action film. It was, and I mean, I obviously come from a different perspective, but that movie for me was really a poignant turning point. I'm a big Marvel fan, so I love
Me
Marvel.
too, girl. Me too.
But it was growing up in a predominantly white, society where really Black characters were not a big part of my childhood or any of that stuff. So even comic books, Storm was the only one I was vaguely familiar with. So it was almost new to me, but the story and they did such a good job just telling that story anyway from a cultural standpoint, but it helped people on a more ignorant side of the fence, like where I was, really understand a lot more of the perspective from a different culture. And it was a really important role that he played. And I feel bad that I didn't know him before and I didn't know any of the other movies. I didn't know any of the other accomplishments. And I know that sometimes is hard for people to hear lately, where they're like, oh, Black Panther, and they seem to minimize the other roles. But I do think that role was really significant because it did allow some people that were a little bit more open-minded to see a very different perspective that was helpful.
Even though the Black Panther has been in the comic books for a long time.
When you're a young kid and your mom brings home like white Barbies and you don't read that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's right, but I was not exposed to a lot of predominantly Black characters, whether it was in cartoons or comic books or even in movies. And it wasn't until my late 20s that I actually had more diverse interest in Hollywood films and things like that. So there was a whitewashing even of, from toys and entertainment standpoint. So that role to me was very important, and it put Chadwick in a very different light. And I'm glad that he was able to do that role before he passed, because I do think, even though it sucks that they don't know a lot about the roles before that because of Black Panther, all of a sudden he's on the map. But I do think it allowed more people to know more about what he actually was doing, and I think that was a positive thing.
Absolutely. Right. I want to hit y'all with this, just based on what Stephanie just said. We all know he played Jackie Robinson. And I refer to Jackie Robinson in a lot of issues when we talk about, breaking barriers and things like that. Because the thing about Jackie Robinson is Jackie Robinson had so much pressure because Jackie Robinson could not be good. Had Jackie Robinson went into the major leagues and been good, the narrative would have been, see, look, we let their best in and he's just okay. So, we're good. Jackie Robinson had to be phenomenal to the point of, well, damn, if this is their best, even if we get their second best, I'll take them. Mm-hmm. Black Panther was a Jackie Robinson type film, because I don't want to give credit, because this shouldn't be something you get credit for, but for Marvel and the people at Sony and the people behind the scenes to be like, all right, look, we're going to allow you to do this quote unquote Black movie. And again, I don't mean just Black movie as in it's a Black character. It was a Black production behind, on screen, off screen, writing, director. Imagine if Black Panther would have just been okay. Like, imagine if Black Panther would have been on the level with the DC movie. Yeah, I'm throwing shade, whatever. DC, you don't like it, make better movies. But imagine if Black Panther would have came out and it would have been like, the Justice League. Like, it was all right. Then it would have been like, oh, see, look, we let Black people do this whole thing themselves. So the fact that
the bar was really, really high.
Exactly. Like, not only do you have to fit into this Marvel canon, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is just murdered the game, but you also have that everybody knows this is a Black production. So if your product does not meet our standards, and so the fact that all the men and women associated with this movie, and definitely Chadwick included, went out there and hit it out of the box, was a Jackie Robinson moment in itself. So this man played Jackie Robinson for us twice.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say something for those of you guys who haven't seen Get On Up, I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, he played James Brown also and did a phenomenal job. I was reading the reviews from James Brown family and stuff like that, and they say like he did a phenomenal job with that. So again, that's another legend role right there. And James Brown family said he smashed it.
Right, and that's the highest praise, because critics and audiences be damned. How do the people that knew James,
that person, right?
They sign off and give you that check mark. And that's the thing. Obviously, he did his own dancing, but he did a lot of vocals in that movie as well. So it just again man's range. Like I can go to Wakanda and I can beat you down, but then I can get on the stage and I can groove you. Then I can go in this courtroom and I can lower you up.
Okay, because he was jamming. He was jamming. I said, "Ooh, go ahead, Chadwick. Go ahead, boom."
So
he was jamming.
Think about it. he played these larger than life characters. T'Challa, larger than life. James Brown. We all know he's larger. Sorry, we all know James Brown is larger than life.
Right.
You know, you sit in a room with this man and suffocate. Like he's larger than life, and he did. He hit it out the park. Like if you close your eyes, you had to open your eyes and be like, "Dang, he did that."
Right.
He did that.
Dedication to not just a role in general. Because I've watched some interviews of some really prominent actors and actresses that have had to play really, really hard roles. Like even especially watching like 12 Years a Slave, really having to emotionally get into character, that it can be extremely draining. And then you top it off with someone who's trying to play James, a real person. Not only is there pressure as a Black actor, you're playing a real person, and you have to not only have the mental and physical fortitude to go through all of that rigorous processing to try and channel
To be somebody else, right?
and you have their real life family watching you, and you're going through cancer. I don't know if he was going through cancer at that time, but either way, that is a lot to live up
He
to.
had to be because the movie came out. Let me see.
Yeah, that one dropped in 2014. So, like I said, I think he was diagnosed in 2016. But like I said, that was just the diagnosis. So how long before that?
Right.
He was already stage 3 when they diagnosed him.
Right. So
He
exactly.
had health issues even then.
Yeah, like he was already stage 3 when they diagnosed him. And
I didn't know that.
This is what I will say. On subject and off subject, while we're still in the diagnosis, men specifically, because you guys are hard-headed, take care of yourself. You see Fred, right?
He's probably his own doctor. He just like dirt on it. I'm good.
The healthcare recommendation for colon cancer screening is 50 years old. I would like to say that is way too old, but I'm not a healthcare professional. But what I will say is make sure that you are getting your yearly checkups. It is imperative that we keep
blood work
around. You don't know something is wrong if you do not get checked annually. There is no baseline. So when something is out of whack, they won't know as quickly as if they have a baseline. Take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. Yeah.
I just want to hear a yes from Fred and Andre. Yes, we will.
Andre, we need you to verbally acknowledge that, fellas. Because we want
or you can just send us a screenshot of your next appointment that has been scheduled. That's fine. That's good too.
I do what I do.
Wow.
Okay. So Andre, Frederick, just make sure you're taking care of yourself because we want you around, sir.
There will be follow-up.
And I know for a fact, I went through it with my dad. I lost my dad a year ago. And he was sick for the longest and didn't want to tell anybody, especially with men. You know, you guys don't want to tell anybody where there's an issue because you don't want to worry your family. You don't want to worry your spouse and stuff like that. But you don't have to like go through it alone, you know, and like what you guys said, if you get it detected early, technology and with medicine and stuff like that, you can get it, you know, under wraps instead of it spreading, you know. So it's very, very important. Get those checkups. Should go twice. If your insurance allow you, go twice a year. What you got to lose? Right. Be extra sure, double check. Be like, oh, because sometimes they misdiagnose or they miss stuff.
Definitely.
Serious. They'll miss stuff.
Because Elena is right. Not only is stuff missed, you guys like to brush stuff off. I'm all right. Sir, your arm is hanging off. You are not all right.
You don't want to change your diet to save your life and certain stuff like that.
I can't read that at all. What does it say?
It's a doctor's appointment.
Oh.
Oh.
That looks like a bill.
How about you shut up?
We know Dre is going to have a physical because he's transitioning right now. So we know that he's going to have a physical thing.
Yeah.
You have to reword that for people that don't understand because you just can't just say that a man is transitioning.
You're right. He's Listen,
I mean some different things.
people. You're absolutely right, Frederick. My apologies.
I mean some different things now.
Right. He's making a career move. So we know that he's on top of it this year. He just needs to stay on top of it always.
But I think I can obviously speak for both the men here, but I do think there is this undertone for men specifically that somehow it's a sign of weakness if there's something wrong with you. And I feel like that's been a prevalent thing with, our men and boys, that they just don't cry, don't feel, don't tell anybody you're strong, you got this, you can beat it. I think that
he has conditioned them that way.
Yeah. And that just creeps into the subconscious, and then they don't want to go to the doctor because they, one, don't want to deal with it, or they don't want to know something's wrong with them, and then they feel defeated.
And that ties in with and that's why I love this show. I love you guys because that ties into what we talked about was it last week with the mental health, and then earlier, Elena, when you talked about the images of Chadwick that circled where he looked unhealthy, how people were, basically just had harsh things to say, which goes back to when we talked about, celebrity like that. Like, I love how as a nation we talk about we anti-bullying. You got Melania with the whatever the campaign is, but we act like that does not apply to famous people. Like, if you have a job that puts you in the spotlight and pays you well, then it's okay to bully you. Like, regular people, don't bully, but yeah.
I can't.
My feelings was hurt when I was reading the comments. I was like, what? I felt attacked. Like, I wanted to cry. And it wasn't even talking about me. I'm like, people are so cruel. Like, and stuff like that. That'll make somebody else that's sick, that's watching on social media, how everybody making memes, making fun of them, and somebody that's battling internally. You know what I mean? They don't want it. That make them don't want to come out and say nothing. That's crazy.
That's a 10-second rule. Look, if I can't fix it in 10 seconds, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. If there's something in my teeth, tell me. If I got, some in my hair, tell me. If I can't fix it in 10 seconds, it's none of your business to tell me if I look skinny or fat or you don't like the color of my hair.
I got a mirror. Don't tell me nothing.
Wait, hold up. Stephanie, I'm going to need you to say that again, just for anybody, because I like that. Say that again, the 10-second rule.
If I cannot fix whatever you're claiming about my physical appearance in 10 seconds, it's none of your, I don't want to know. Don't tell me, because it's just going to be rude and not constructive. Okay? Or I probably already know, and I don't need you pointing it out. If there's something in my teeth, if there's something in my hair, if I can fix it in 10 seconds, then bring it to my attention. Think about it first, but bring it to my attention. But if I can't, leave me alone. Don't do that to people. I just think that's so, especially on social media, especially when you don't know them. And all they have
keyboard gangsters, the keyboard gangsters.
I do think it's one comment you're making towards someone, but they're getting 30,000 comments about the same negative thing. And it's not productive. It doesn't help anybody. Most people know if they are skinny or fat or whatever. Most people know where their health is. That's their business.
See, I just want to point out the diversity.
Skinny or fat. It's not for you. They have not looked in the mirror because they are not ready to face it.
Right.
Mind your business.
They don't want to talk about it.
I just want to point out the diversity of the cast members of the show. Stephanie is a very nice and loving and genuine person. She has that 10-second rule, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Fred got a different rule. Watch your mouth, because don't start no more big because I'll talk right bad about you. I'll hurt you right in the middle of Target, Walmart, whatever. Say something slick about me that doesn't need to be said. See if I don't say something back. Have you hurt your feeling? You be at home burning all your wardrobe because I pointed out that your clothes don't match.
I mean, don't get it twisted. Someone talks shit about my family, I might smack them too. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's right.
As a general rule of thumb.
Just so you know.
Don't say anything to Stephanie or her family.
About her family.
People.
Yeah, I was baptized in fire into the mess talking game as being in the 4th grade, being the only black kid with glasses when ABC decided to have just the disrespect and disregard for my feelings to introduce the world to Steve Urkel. So yeah, I was born in this struggle. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even watch Family Matters that week. I think we were out of town, so I missed it. So I come into class on Monday, people ask me if I got any cheese, and I'm like, yo, what are y'all talking about? And this wasn't like I could go in YouTube, and I had to wait a whole week being confused, like, what has everybody asking if I did that? What are y'all talking about? Then I saw it, I was like, oh, Oh, this one, okay. So I had two choices. Either you knuckle under or okay. The only thing worse than being called Urkel is getting clowned by the kids you call Urkel. Like, don't bring it here. Don't bring it
I
here.
wore glasses too. Don't we were
Look,
still
and
cute.
look, we've segued into bullying people. Like we've said, like it touched a whole nerve.
Right.
It
I'm just
touched a
saying,
whole
like,
nerve
the
for Fred.
1 week I was a TV watcher, but the 1 week I don't watch Family Matters, and they decided to ruin my childhood a little bit. And I was like, all right, cool.
I'm gonna let y'all have that. I'm gonna let
That
you
was a
have that.
long week. All I'm saying is from Monday morning to Friday, that's a long time. Everybody just in on the joke but me. Can't Google it because the internet, they was all slow. They decided they didn't want to invent the internet yet, so I had to just wait. Anyway,
But we here.
I've never seen him go on a tangent like that. Oh Jesus. Okay.
Fred felt some type of way.
I was about to say, see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call childhood trauma.
Yeah.
And although we're sitting here and we're laughing about it, did you hear that whole long tangent?
You bullies,
like
you
it
oversized bullies. Did you hear that?
It was a sting, y'all.
That was
you see how the effects roll over to adulthood, you bullies? You should be ashamed of your damn.
But like you said,
he's mad at the internet not being invented by then. He's mad at everything.
Yeah, it was a lot of factors that did, See, young people, y'all don't realize because y'all miss something. Y'all go right to YouTube and it's right there. Like back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s, you miss an episode, you got to wait till the summertime and they rerun it. And then if you mess around and miss it twice, then you just never see it again. Like, all right, I guess
you just didn't see it.
I guess, all right, there's just going to be a hole in my, TV watching catalog. No, I missed that episode. Don't know what happened. Don't know what, never going to find. And then you become an adult and they put stuff out and you're like, ooh, let me go back and rewatch it. Now you got to figure out which episode you missed. It's a struggle. See, y'all young people, y'all spoiled.
And he's still struggling, you guys.
Y'all got TV, you can pause and stuff. We can run to the kitchen during the commercial break. Hope you had a sibling, because if you was the only child, you was asked out. Because you had a sibling, they'd be like, it's back on, and then you get to run. But yeah, you have nobody.
He is still going.
I know. That's
Y'all dead wrong, you bullies. Dead wrong. Period.
I'm just saying the struggle was real, y'all. Man, 80s and 90s, we had it good, but
I know it was rough.
But yeah, TV watching and media and stuff like that, you just had to be on your game. Like y'all.
What is our audience saying? What is the comment? We got any goodies in the comments? Anybody saying anything good?
No real goodies. Like Melissa is laughing her butt off at Frederick right now.
Shout out to Melissa. She always supports the Love Show. She always comes in. Much love, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Shout out to a few of our shout out to Dalton Smith. He's always here supporting.
Yes, he is.
Shout us out. We love you, Dalton. Thank you so much for your support.
We got Ernest Ollis in the house. Oh, excuse me. Let me people do it to me. I did it again. We got Ernest Ollis the third in the house.
Yes, I see Ernest over there. Hey, OG.
Hey, Ernest. Hey, E.
We got Eddie V. Hill is in the house.
Okay. Hey.
Of course, we got my man Marcus Betts. Shout out to the Raza family. Marcus the Alphabet. There's some dude, Andre Robinson, in the comments too. I don't know who that is, but whoever that is, shout out to him as well. I don't know. He might be on his way to the doctor trying to make other people.
Got to show everyone love. Got to show everyone love.
Everybody on the Love Show. On the Love Show.
Nobody needs.
Winston, thanks for jumping in. Anika Clowney, I love you, sister. Thank you so much for your unwavering support.
By the way, F your couch. F your couch.
What?
No. Where's that from?
Those Chappelle Show swag is low, Stephanie. We gotta put you up on game. Chappelle Show.
Thank you, Marcus.
Okay.
Marcus says, "Great show, guys."
Let me make a note.
Thank you.
So since we're just moseying on, what's the next topic, Fred? If you're finished your rant.
Yeah, if it's about Family Matters and Urkel and stuff.
Back down memory lane. Anyway,
rant too.
I'm so not used to him just going off in these tangents, and I don't know what's happening. and I don't want to wrangle him. I don't want to pull him in. I kind of want to just let him go.
You can't interject when he's on a rant. You just sit there and you just put it
Like
on.
but I really was enjoying him just going off on his tangent. Like,
yep.
So
I was here for it.
I'm sorry.
Y'all just gonna laugh at my pain? Okay.
No, I'm not laughing at your pain. It's just
no. I was here. I was here as support.
Right. I'm not laughing at your pain.
With you in spirit. Okay.
Points to like how people think. It goes back to that whole. Remember how we was told sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you.
Yeah,
which was a big bold-faced lie.
I call BS, ladies and gentlemen. Words hurt. Words hurt like an MFer. Tell you
they hurt you.
They cannot say what they want to say out of their mouth. Words hurt.
Long term, it's not temporary.
Went on a whole tangent. I remember my grandmother used to tell me deep for stretch pants. You remember this stuff. You just. I'm not going to go off on a tangent though, because I don't.
I just want to say something real quick. I want to say something real fast. I just want to say.
What you want to say, Dre? Turn camera on.
Frederick.
I got to see face.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to see face too. You got to see face.
I got to see your face. Yes. There it goes.
F your couch. I just want to say, Stephanie, F your bed. I just want to say, Letitia, F your background. And Vitamin E, F your accessories. How about that? And
what are you talking about?
What? It's good.
What did my necklace do to you, bro?
See, this is y'all fault. This is y'all fault.
Are you projecting some of your own childhood trauma? Do we need to talk about your problems too?
Ladies, let me tell y'all what happened.
Bring it to the table. Bring it to the table.
Y'all wanted to praise Dre for getting his little I got my little dog department. Y'all wanted to praise him. Now he feeling himself. Now he want to show out in front of company.
I still don't know why he's offended by my dad and her. I don't.
F you and F you. First of all, that's not the rise up way.
Sounds like a lot of hostility.
Words constructively, sir.
Yeah.
Second of all, this is a network show, and I can't say what I really want to say, which is everything but the child of God.
I constructed those sentences quite clearly.
But let's say you need some cuddling. He need Jesus. He gonna need Jesus when we get off this air. And I reach from Baltimore to New York and yoke him up.
That's all good. I can take it. I'm just messing with y'all. I love y'all. I mean, we said
this is the love show. We about to love.
Yeah.
Period.
Cute. I don't know what the problem is.
He petty.
Petty.
Stephanie, he disrespected your linens and your tapestries.
I personally like it, but you know what? It's not you, and that's okay. You don't have to like it. That's fine. I'm unbothered.
Oh.
Do you have your sign?
With a capital U. Ooh.
She was saucy with it.
Ooh, with a capital U. Elena, I can't. She said, ooh, with a capital U.
Look, wait, Stephanie. You're unbothered, and there is tea in this cup.
Hey, there you go. Okay.
Stephanie, where's your sign at? Is it in that room?
Huh? Where's my sign? Yep, yeah. It's up there. It's not lit up, though, because it's dark in here. It says unbothered. It took a lot of time.
Bothered. We got Baltimore.
Stephanie redid her room.
I did.
Y'all don't follow her on Facebook. She redid her room, and I'm so loving your color scheme.
Look, everybody with all of my plants. Nobody
did her room.
Everyone gets to see it.
Stephanie made her own little TLC home and garden channel. Little.
No, that's right.
I'm talking about like straight the panoramic slow-mo camera, the Bob Ross voice. Just Stephanie made little DIY commercials. Just like I'm looking, like I literally was like Googling, like, okay, when's the episode air? Like this is literally a promo for an episode of
right.
What I
like Stephanie did her thing.
$400, okay, that's
redesign. That's what we.
That's good. That's really good though.
And I think that I could own this, and I don't remember what the other topic was, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're really running off on a tangent because I can't redirect the conversation. No idea what else we talked about that we were going to do.
Well, Dre started it by in our, my bedroom. I mean, that's Dre's fault, really.
I've had 8 hours of sleep in like 3 days. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what is going on.
Oh, buddy. So the topic that we had on the docket was
I can't stand him.
I guess I don't know. I haven't really been here on Earth for a while, but I guess there's a virus or something out there that people.
Oh yeah, that's right. There we go.
I don't know. I was on another. I haven't heard anything about this, so I was shocked.
You don't know about COVID?
Is that how it's pronounced? I wasn't sure if it was COVID. Yeah,
the sea monster. I call it the sea monster. I hate it.
And it's funny because I looked into it and I found a lot of misinformation. So I think we was gonna talk about the misinformation revolving around COVID-19. But you know what? I'm gonna let Baltimore go first because I can because I was talking and I kind of had the floor, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. Haha.
It's cool because here's what happened, y'all. Even though I forgot, I do homework. I have notes, so he wasn't gonna catch me slipping. Just didn't remember and didn't want to flip the page. So let's jump into this.
You was prepared.
What?
I had every confidence that you was prepared.
Oh, I think you wanted to catch me slipping because you Patty too.
Nah, you're not DMX at all.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, we are gone.
Patty bad. Anyway, so yeah, let's dive into misinformation about COVID. Let me start with my black people. Let me move in a little closer. The melanin in your skin does not keep you from getting COVID, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who told you that. Okay.
Zoom in. People are
I don't know who told you that.
Say that one more again.
But the melanin in your skin does not prevent you from catching COVID. It does not.
COVID don't care. COVID is heartless. They don't care what color you are,
this is
your age,
and your family. Mm-mm. COVID does not skip over you because you don't believe that it exists. Just little
COVID don't play fair. COVID don't play fair.
I'm gonna try not to drop any of my thoughts in here right this second. People are, no matter what your belief is, whether it doesn't exist, it is a conspiracy. I will say this. Even if you do not believe it exists, there is an astronomical amount of people who have died from something. Mm-hmm. With that being said, do not be reckless with other people's lives. What you do and how you move affects more than you. The problem is people are selfish and they don't acknowledge the fact that the things that you do and don't do impact other people. You don't want to wear your mask. I would say fine, except for the fact that still affects me. Even though my mask is on, there isn't a 100% barrier because you don't have a mask on. There are those of us who do not live our lives in a box. We touch other people. We are responsible for other people. I value my life. Keep your little COVID dancing self away from me. Put your daggone mask on and don't talk to me. I don't want you close to me anyway. Your mask belongs over your nose. Don't talk to me without being over your nose.
It's not a chin guard.
Yeah.
It's not a chin. Elena, one more time.
It's not a chin guard.
Not a chin guard, people.
People got their masks on like they in the NFL, got their little chin strap on. Like, dude, ain't nobody asked you to get in the game. You start ass back. Coach, can I get in? No, get your ass back. Put your mask on.
Hey, you know what? I usually don't talk much. I just got something to say about this whole coronavirus thing.
Drop it.
Come on, Brother Robinson. Brother Robinson. Come on.
Hey, shout out to Melissa because she said that in the chat.
She did. She get on my nerves.
Come on, Stephanie. You know you feeling that. Come on.
I can't barely hear it.
Y'all heard Cardi. Loud and clear.
See, now y'all know y'all can't give Dre compliments and praise on the show no more because it's what happens. You can't get Mogwai's wet. You can't give Dre compliments. Now we know the rules.
I just wanted to put that out there. It's real.
It's real.
Absolutely.
And that was the clean version.
You know what's the most? It's the most disheartening with the mask wearing situation because it really goes back to those particular people that have this individualistic mindset, and part of it is the individualistic society that some of these people have been raised in more prominently than even our generation. It's almost again a sign of weakness if you try to do something for someone else that you don't personally gain something from. It's like the shopping cart analogy. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? The shopping cart analogy? Y'all heard it?
Break it down.
I'll probably do a poor job, but basically it's about whether you can self-govern and where your empathy lies, right? And whether you're going to be a decent person for decency's sake, or whether you only do things because of regulations. And like if you put your shopping cart away, you're doing that to be kind to the person that has to go pick up the carts, or to avoid door dings or whatever. But there's no law or rule that says you have to put away your shopping cart. Nothing's going to happen to you if you just leave it in the middle of the parking lot. You're kind of a jerk for doing so, but you really won't have any negative effects. So the fact that you put it away is at least a sign of a character that you are doing it with no personal gain attached. But we have this society that perpetuates this idea of individualism, that if you're not getting something from it, it's not worth the time or value. And we've kind of gotten away from that tribe mentality where we take care of each other and we look out for each other. And so that's all of these people like, it's my civil liberties. It's like, even if we're wrong, wouldn't you want to err on the side of trying to protect your fellow man? But they don't, because it doesn't directly benefit them. And there are people that only operate if something directly benefits them in a positive way.
Right.
And that's what that.
100%.
That's a fact.
Because y'all are probably new to this, but my mind work a little different. I'm gonna put it on this angle. For the people that are like, I'm not gonna wear a mask, you're not gonna tell me to wear a mask. You know what I think? I think a lot of those people are cowards. And I think a lot of those people are tired of, the government, society, whatever, putting their foot in there. But that's a way for me to stand up to the government without actually having to do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm going to stand up and I'm not going to wear this mask. I'm not going to stand up against anything that matters where I have to actually put myself out there and actually speak out or go out and actually do anything tangible about all the things in our lives that the government kind of comes down on us on. But if I tell you I'm not wearing this mask and you can't make me wear this mask, then in my little mind, ooh, look, I just stood up to Big Daddy government. Look at me, I'm so tough. And it's like, no, you the same person that don't wear your seatbelt. Like nobody cares.
But I think it comes from a fear-based perspective because it feels like control. It's the same reason people don't respect boundaries. When they feel like all of a sudden someone puts something up that they feel controlled by, they freak out. They act like children. They try to push the boundary back. People don't want to be controlled. And there are people that have, especially people of privilege, that have gotten away with doing whatever they want. All of a sudden there's a regulation that they have to follow. They can't handle it because they've not had a lot of boundaries put on them. And they are scared because it feels like control, even though it's not.
And again, instead of fighting against real control, they pick this little minuscule, insignificant thing, which is putting a piece of cloth over your face for the 20 minutes you're in the store. They take that as their crusade because, again, they don't like to be controlled. But rather than fighting against real control, I'm gonna fight over this little bit, and now I feel like it did something. That's just kind of part of what I think.
That are using the ADA and trying to make these fake organizations about, oh, I'm not supposed to wear a mask because I'm disabled. That pisses me off. My aunt has a disability. I'm familiar. I mean, I think that is exploiting that entire organization to try and basically bully and manipulate a business owner that for the most part probably doesn't know the ADA laws and regulations and rules, to try and get them to change their policy because you're selfish and you don't want to wear a mask. That's a whole different level of rudeness.
I think you should just take your disabled tail and Instacart. That's what I think about you and your disability and your inability to breathe. I have asthmatics in my house. I can't breathe in it either, but I don't want to die, so I put it on.
Right. I don't like wearing it either, but golly, for me to fake an entire organization just to go bully a business owner because I want to shop there and I want them to comply to me. Talk about the level of arrogance. That is a whole level of disrespectful arrogance that I don't understand.
I just wanted to say I salute all the essential workers because wearing the mask for extended period of time is extremely dangerous and it's not.
Right.
They have to wear like double, like, so I support dental practices and my doctors have to wear the N95 plus another one over plus a face shield, and it's awful. They can't breathe for anything, but they do
And
it.
how do you think the quality of their job performance?
I mean,
You think they're top notch when they can breathe? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Will we be getting the best, services when these people can't even breathe, or will they be trying to hurry up and rush
Are you
on a
going to use the
patient?
best services when you're infected though? That's the flip of the coin.
Yeah.
Which is the worst.
Especially in those types of fields where you're in their mouth. That's the highest risk.
Well, listen, I don't want anybody.
That's why I said you think they're rushing, like, get your ass out of here.
Yeah, like I don't want anybody breathing on me from jump. Like I don't want you close to me anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
I have a thing with
so
personal
they quit with the
cough. And then you notice people get closer now that we have these daggone masks and have to be 6 feet. Do you notice people are closer?
Yo.
Like how people act like they act like sound doesn't travel fast. Like, dude, speak up. Don't get closer to me. Just talk louder. And then my favorite, like, okay, you got your mask on, cool. So that way the particles in your body don't end up on me. You're gonna expel.
I had to check somebody in Family Dollar.
Why would you pull your mask down? Get close to me and then pull your mask down, like. And then I'm forced to stand there and not tell you how stupid you are to your face because society that's frowned upon. Like,
that's right.
Do that to me. I have to do that.
Absolutely not adhering to societal norms. Get away from me.
Bye.
Oh yeah, I went off on a lady in Family Dollar. I'm like,
I don't care about your feelings. I don't want you close to me anyway. If COVID wasn't an issue, I wouldn't want you close to me anyway. You make my skin itch. Do not touch me. And you write a check on it. Don't touch me. I don't understand why people need to be that close.
Don't even give me eye contact, please.
Like, I don't. And look, so Buck Flair said, wait till they mandate the vaccine. They recently said you have to get a flu shot if you work in a skilled nursing home to protect the older generation. And you should, because they're vulnerable. And if you don't like it, come out of healthcare. That's what I say to those things.
Yep.
Because you know what you're getting into.
Yep.
But it goes back to what you said, Stephanie. People doing things for the sake of other humans. Mm-hmm. Where you may not be vulnerable, someone else may be. And these precautions are not just for yourself, they're for other people. You have no idea.
With vaccinating your kids and all that stuff, it's about herd immunity. It's about, I hear that argument all the time. And
ma'am, we are not going to say vaccines and children in the same sentence. I'm telling you, I'm going to get hate mail.
That COVID vaccine coming out, you know.
I'm going to get hate mail.
Well, but we're going to have a new debate because the COVID vaccine's coming out, and they're talking about.
And I'm absolutely not taking it. I'll stay home for 100, Alex. Okay.
I can let y'all know. I can let y'all know right now. I can let y'all know right now. Give me a window seat on the bus to the FEMA camp because I'm not taking no COVID vaccine.
Right. So let me quantify the statement, ladies and gentlemen, just so excuse me, get clear on where I'm coming from. So on average, it takes 18 months to 2 years to produce a vaccine.
And that's after trials and everything too.
Right. Because let me finish, because I'm getting ready to cover it. I'm with you, Stephanie. All these infomercials where we see that now they have to come back and pay people because
mesothelioma
medicine affected you. If they're developing this vaccine now, there are no clinical trials. Therefore, there is no way for them to tell us what the side effects of this medication is until 10 years from now, because you have to measure the short term and the long term. Now, I'm not going to get into my health background, but I'm going to say this. I am part of a compromised demographic. You better miss me with all that BS. Y'all go out there and y'all can be test dummies. Holler at me in about 10 to 15 years when I see what this does. I'm not about to do it. I work from home anyway. All of y'all crowd my space. I've been working from home for years now. Whenever y'all go back to work, I can get, my regular Wi-Fi signal back.
Thank
like,
you.
I'm
Please
not
go
doing
away.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I would like to amend my previous statement.
Yes,
I'm not giving the vaccine for free. Now, if y'all doing clinical trials where y'all cutting checks, that's a different story. Depending on the dollar amount, y'all might
check, right?
Only got good veins. We might could talk about something. But if y'all just like go down to Walgreens, nah. But like I say, if y'all cutting checks, like, hey, who want to come on down and live in this house?
Let me qualify the statement, ladies and gentlemen. He not talking about that go get high check. He want a couple of stacks. Okay?
Right.
I'm talking about y'all see me and my ear and stuff start to fall off, and I only got 9 months to live. I'm gonna ball out in 9 months. I'm not talking about Fred, is that your Lambo? Yeah. How come your ear fell off? Don't worry about my ear. Like,
mind your business.
You see how it's lavender? Because yes, my Lamborghini is gonna be lavender. Those that know me know it's not. That's not a secret. Yes. Why you get a lavender? Because but yeah. I'm talking.
Right. What Stephanie
my body falling apart. I'm gonna ball out.
If you can't fix it in 10 seconds, don't tell him about his ear falling off. You can't fix it in 10 seconds.
Do you have a don't even leave it alone? Don't worry about it.
Mind your business.
I can hear from here. I talk to my neck. I can hear you. What you say? Huh?
She got one good ear. Mind your business.
Like this.
I just got one tip for people.
For sure, people talk to me on this side.
Got for us later.
Hey.
Nothing.
Back up sometimes. Just flip it back up, though.
Y'all crazy.
What you say, honey?
Nothing. I just got a small tip for everybody, and don't overwhelm your friends and family members with constant news links, constant bombarding them, overwhelming them with this C-19 stuff and all these conspiracies. Do not do that. If you want to keep your friends and family members just kind of updated, just make sure it's from a reliable news
or
source.
Even ask them if they want to talk about it. Some people don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because my anxiety level, like I said, not just America's, like anxiety level is so high. People don't need the extra stress. Like that just lowers your vibration. You know what I mean? Because I had to like block people that kept like every hour and an hour, like, oh my God. And I'm like, look, I'm getting off of social media. Like I was just getting so don't do that to your friends and family members and stuff like that. Like
my big concern with the vaccine is that they're trying to push it so fast, and like you said, it takes a really long time, double-blind studies, controlled studies, all of these test groups for over quite a long period of time to have an actual accurate assessment. And even then, there's always new information that comes out and side effects and all of that stuff. So that's my concern, is that the way that they potentially present this vaccine to the general public, those that don't understand randomized controlled studies or double-blind studies and understand the efficacy of all of that, how that they're going to have a huge vulnerable part of the population that may be test subjects for something that was really rushed, I think is very dangerous. I'm not against vaccines, but I am against really hasty science in order to cause a hysteria. We're just going to have more health problems, in my opinion.
And we're not guinea pigs.
And then here's the thing, Stephanie, and this is going to sound so jacked up, but given the administration at home, I am extra leery of anything you develop at this point. And I understand that he is not every nook and cranny, but
the fact that his base will literally do anything he says is concerning. And that moderates will also tend to lean towards it's a little unnerving.
So to piggyback on what both of y'all said, because we know they ain't gonna cut my level of check for the test groups. So We have our test group. All we need is President Dippy to tell his base to go out and get it. And there go 100-something million test groups. And we can all just, the rest of us to sit back and like, anybody ear fall off yet? Because like you said, Stephanie, they'll do whatever he say. Like, and yep, there you go. There go your test subjects right there. Everybody, you make America great again. There you go. There you go.
I can't stand him. Ooh, I can't stand him.
So listen to this interesting comment from Buck Flair. Coronavirus cutting down on population. Quarantine means less sex. When this first happened, I said, this is, let's remove the conspiracies from it, right? This was mean population control. What happens when things go wrong in nature? Nature eventually corrects itself. When all of this stuff was overseas, China smog cut down, you could actually see the water in the canal clear. They were like, they said the ozone layer, the hole had shrunken.
Venice, their water was clear, and they
had exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that sounds like nature correcting itself to me, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that sounds like. Just a thought.
I mean,
I wouldn't be shocked at this point with anything of that.
Honey, nothing surprises me at this point in life.
This was, to me, this was like the real one that I was like, okay, when they cancel March Madness, and not just because I'm a dude and I'm a sports fan,
right?
But think about the economic, like the first day of March Madness, the first day of the tournament is the biggest sports day in the world for betting, things like that. Think about the financial hit that, like, not only NCAA, all the spawn, everybody, all that money that they lost by canceling March Madness. That was when I was like, okay, this is different. And my thought has always been this: we have no idea we're like in a Saw movie, and there's a bunch of twists and turns, and we don't know how the movie's going to end unless we're fortunate enough to see the end of the movie. Unfortunately, we might be here for the end of the movie, but everybody like, oh, well, it's this, it's that. And I'm like, there's validity in all these things. And I know conspiracy theories, but I hate that term. But it's like, none of us know. And unless you're around to see the end of the movie, y'all gonna be sitting there like, oh, that's what it was. But I want to say this whole thing of somebody ate some bat soup, no. Because if you can go and order bat soup, that means that they make bat soup. And if they make bat soup, that means they've been selling bat soup. And if they've been selling bat soup, that means people have been eating bat soup. So don't tell me that this worldwide virus came because somebody ate bat soup. No. I'm not
why would you want to eat
like
bat soup coming from?
I feel like we should have
market where they eat all the exotic things, and we sit over here as little judgy ass Americans. And I tell people, if you eat dead animal, you eat dead animal. You arguing about a species, but whatever. Like, didn't you have chicken yesterday? Okay, so you ate a creature with wings that can fly.
That's the last animal I got. I'm working on.
Same thing. You eat that animal, you eat that animal. It's just a cultural thing. I hate when people do that. Oh, I can't believe they eat that. You had goose and pig and like, but whatever. Like, yeah, no, don't tell me that it came from because somebody has some bat soup. No, I'm not buying that.
The crazy thing is, and then how many conspiracies did we hear coming out, and then ignorant? Never mind.
When you talked about population control, or the adjustment of population, but the economic effects. Case in point, like I was talking about this today, people that have either expired or suspended driver's license, okay, they cannot, at least in my state, in many states, they can't go get their current driver's license because they can only make an appointment. And the only people that are making appointments from the DPS is for new licenses, not renewals, not commercial, not for suspensions, anything like that. And the appointments are 4 to 6 months out. So that means anybody that's driving around on a suspended license is subject to get tickets, fines, or be taken into jail, especially if they live in parts of the country where there is no bus route and Uber isn't even an option. So we're causing more people to be potentially unemployed outside of the furloughs and the layoffs and all of that stuff. That's going to have an even bigger significant impact on the class system, the poverty level, the economic effect, and then you add sicknesses on top of that for people that can't afford it because they no longer have their benefits or a job. We potentially could see even further drops in population because of this.
Where are
Yeah.
you again, Stephanie? Where are you?
In Texas. And
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I love that we're all
absolutely.
different places because we get to see what's going on from state to state.
Mhm.
Because for
No matter
us,
where you live.
Texas was like, yeah, y'all just get extensions. In Maryland, they're like, just extend it.
Well,
Because
so they got
we are
extensions
able,
for some people, but then if yours expired within that time frame, or if you had a suspension prior to, and then you have to get, so like in one example, someone that had a suspended license, their suspension was lifted, the renewal was extended, but if you had an expiration and you didn't have any other form of ID, then it shows still in the system if a cop pulls you over that you have a suspended license and you do not have a current valid license. So therefore, you are still driving illegally. And they, because we know cops can use discretion, and oftentimes if they feel like it, they can say, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, it's unfortunate, but it is still illegal. Just don't drive." Well, some of us can't not drive. We have to go to work. We have to take our kids to the doctor. We don't have the bus in certain areas. What are we supposed to do? Well, not my problem. It's still illegal, and I can give you a ticket for it or take you to jail for it.
They setting us up to fail. Period.
And they will target people of color for that as well.
Hold up. Speaking of setting us up to fail, anybody else in y'all cities have your little ignorant mayor go on national TV on some Matthew Broderick stuff, talking about like remember in Glory when they was like, yeah, we got to take that fort, and pretty much whoever go in first, everybody gonna die, and Matthew Broderick was like, we'll go. I love Glory, and that was a great movie, but I'm sorry, some brothers in the regiment was like, hold up, man, wait, what? Anybody else, mayor, get on Anderson Cooper and just essentially offer her city up, like just reopen Vegas and we'll see how it. Wait, look here, lady. If you don't sit down and be the hell quiet, like anybody else, y'all mayor do that, or is that just us?
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, what? Does she speak for everyone? Why? Yeah.
Carolyn, is your name Carolyn? That's your name. We gonna need to have a meeting, some pamphlets going out, a questionnaire or something. How you just get on Anderson Cooper and be like, we'll do it? Like, yeah. So good times. Just
so here's a comment to go into our little COVID and how they did this wrong, right? So Anika Clowney said, well, they didn't do that properly. They stayed rent and evictions, but no provisions for mortgages, which leaves landlords stuck. If they lose the property, then the tenant is still displaced, not to mention those of us who are not renters to begin with. And the crazy thing about that is, how do you stay evictions, but you allow foreclosures to continue to move?
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand.
That's ludicrous. Welcome to America.
The Federal Reserve don't care.
When we first started talking about this, and I said the truest tweet that I've ever seen in my life was that girl said, America don't know how to do nothing but war. When it comes to everything else, we just be running around looking stupid. And again, all this
money and greed. And greed, war and greed. That's what I know.
As in place for everything, because this is uncharted territory for everybody. But what I am saying is, you can't beat your chest every 17 seconds talk about how you're the greatest country in the world, but you have shown an inability over months to adapt and adjust. And like, who is working on these things? Like, okay, we talked about a few weeks ago with you guys, all you guys have with the children, everything like that. The end of last year was jacked up. What did y'all do all summer? Was y'all just like, oh, by the time school starts next year, everything will be fine? Like, y'all didn't put anything, y'all didn't look ahead and be like, okay, oh, we barely got out of this year. We got 3 months to put some. No, y'all didn't do it. Y'all went on vacation. Y'all was like, all right, summertime. And then y'all came back in the beginning of August, like, all right, what we gonna do?
I talked to one of my son's teachers today, trying to just get prepared. He said, I don't even really know everything that's going on yet. I'm like, wow. Because they start in New York State on the 8th.
Yeah, we're starting on the 8th too. And I will say, I don't give.
He said he don't know what's going on.
I don't give Baltimore City a whole lot of credit, but I will say that they started having conversations towards the end of the school year on what this was going to look like coming into this new school year. They rallied resources from all over the place to kind of help parents who are outside of the house. Again, I thank God every single day that I'm home. So this wasn't a huge disruption to my life, except for now I have 5 children learning while I'm home working on the phone, where I didn't used to be on the phone. But we shall adjust. my heart goes out to everyone who has children who just simply can't manage, because although we're looking at this from a perspective of these children not being in school, there are parents who simply just cannot manage this. Children with behavior issues who typically have a one-on-one. When you have children with behavior issues, the school is not babysitting, but everyone needs a break. And to not have the time to decompress, because to be honest, this is a very dangerous time. Depression is high, as Melissa said. Depression and anxiety is very high right now. Um, just not thinking about the children and families that are very high risk, children who are in abusive situations, parents who um, rely on that break to kind of decompress, to be able to jump back in. And when you have multiples, I thank God every day. I have 5 children, 2 years apart, and I don't have drama. I can manage this. And hey, everybody logged on? Great. Here's breakfast. See you later. That's not everybody's story. That's not everybody's life. And we have to deal with each other with grace and compassion. If you see somebody struggling and you can help, help them. It takes a village to raise children, and it takes a village to be grown.
Yeah.
Yep.
People think this village is supposed to fall. Well, you're grown now. That's not how this works, people. The village is supposed to remain intact because we all will need somebody at some point. And if you are not doing your job to collectively help, our world is going to go to crap. Exhibit A.
Yep.
We have to do better in working together. We have to. Our kids depend on it, and our sanity depends on it.
Well, and even I've seen a huge change in my own kids, and I'm still fortunate to be working and have, some co-parenting help and all of that stuff and family members, but even still, my own children have had some emotional like problems during this time. And we're part of one of the more stable families. I cannot imagine. I know a person is friends with this woman who is a single mom who's now living out of her car because she couldn't pay her mortgage. And she's got 4 children and they can't go in school. So she can't go out to look for jobs because she's got 4 kids with herself in a car. And there's people that want to freak out about, oh, well, online school. Like some people don't even have internet access. And it's just everybody's really stressed. There's not a magic answer. There are valid fears and concerns on both sides of the argument, and they should all be at least examined and met with some compassion and empathy and work together to figure out how do we make it work for everyone, or how do we customize things to try and be gracious and give everybody a little bit of a wiggle room to survive. This is hard on everybody for very different reasons, and everyone has a story.
A lot of people feel that the virus is like worse than terrorism. I read that people feel it's running or neck to neck.
Terrorism hasn't directly affected me at all, but this virus has. This virus has affected everybody directly. Terrorism, not so much. I'm gonna say this. I know it's gonna sound like I'm piling on, and I hope it does because they deserve to be piled on and shamed. I am never usually the person that likes to, make comparisons with athletics and things like that, because I think people, they poo-poo on athletics and reasons they shouldn't. But I'm gonna go with this. You have all these sports leagues that shut down. And in the time that they shut down, they figured out, okay, our goal is to get sports back up and running. How are we going to do this? The NBA, the NHL, they set up bubbles. Okay, we're going to take, the NHL, 2 cities. We're going to have all our teams go there. We're going to isolate. They figured out what the problem was, and they took steps to solve the problem and get the end result, which is we are well in the midst of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Things are running smoothly. We are well in the midst of the NHL and the NBA playoffs. Things are running smoothly. The NFL is slated to kick off on Thursday. So far, things are running smoothly. So basically what it shows me is that when you give a damn about identifying the problem and doing something to solve the problem and helping the people with what they need to do what they need to do, we can accomplish things, right? Mm-hmm. So again, U.S. government, Congress, Senate, President, what have y'all been doing this whole time? Because again, I'm not mad at y'all for not having the answers initially because this is uncharted territory. But what I'm saying is we are months into this. And there's not a whole lot of movement and improve. Like, does anybody feel more confident now than they did back in March?
Absolutely not.
I feel less
Okay,
confident.
March, oh my God, we don't know what we're doing. But now here we are, April, May, June, July, August, 5.5 months later. Do we feel like there's any more of a plan or any more direction or any more guidance? Do we feel like, Stephanie, the woman you talked about, we've got people living in their, like, where's the, like, what are we doing?
I feel less
on this problem?
I feel less certain now than I did in the beginning. And I feel less certain because I don't feel not only are people not problem solving, people aren't doing their part. Because we started this in the beginning with people not wearing their masks, people not choosing to quarantine, people not social distancing. Like people aren't doing their part either. Like everybody is just out here doing what the hell they want to do.
But we see leaders not doing anything, so they're like, well, Holly, if the president doesn't care, then why should we care? And blah 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 blah. They see people.
I seen New York State governor out walking his dog, having a good time. He had name mask on, and he with his friend. He having a good time.
So leadership is not giving a shit. So why would the average, and we see other countries that are having relatively decent recovery from this, and then here we are falling apart.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't care about us.
Fred alluded to that. That's what we do. But it's 7:27, guys.
Who was it? What Senator Congress? They was about to go on hiatus, and then they got called back in about the thing about the post office, right? Remember? Because I made the post joking about how when we talk. Okay, here's my question: what was y'all about to go on hiatus for in the first place? Like, everything good? Y'all, what you mean you going on break? You don't see the whole restaurant falling apart, and y'all finna go on break? No. Y'all don't work hard enough anyway. Y'all work 100-something days out the year in a normal year. This ain't a normal year. Y'all can put in some overtime. Like, what are we doing? But anyway, yeah.
7:28, guys. Gather your final thoughts. Let's go.
Put it down again. Y'all keep putting it down.
Final thought. Y'all ready for this? I got a final thought. I've been listening. Great show, everybody. My final thought is this. This is probably gonna bedazzle everybody, but I gotta do
it. Really?
This
That's my final.
This is easy for me.
Final thought.
This is easy for me.
Answer the question. Final thought. Yeah. There it is.
One gotta go.
In all they music.
And my answer is dedicated to Stephanie because this is a very individualistic answer. I will say that this person is one of the greatest musical geniuses of all time, but I personally just don't mess with their music. So for me, if I'm taking somebody off that list, for me, it's Prince. That's a no-brainer for me. Now, if I'm the world, I can't take Prince from the world, but I can take Prince from me.
But I feel like it's a trick question because only one of them is still alive. Am I missing that? Or is it?
No, don't listen to Stephanie. Stop over dissecting and pick one male. Like,
I don't know. That's really hard.
Supposed to be a millionaire.
Okay, I'll go next. It's going to be Beyonce for me. Next.
Good one.
I personally think it would be Beyonce for me too. Because I don't know. It's really hard. I still really like her most recent stuff, but yeah, Beyonce for me.
Miss Elena. Where'd she go? Lord.
She said I'm a musician.
Can we all agree that my man at the bottom ain't going nowhere? We can agree on that, right?
Right. Nobody's picking Mike.
We can go ahead and take Mike off the list because so my answer.
My sister said Whitney Houston can go. Melissa said Beyonce can go.
Here's my backup answer though. If I'm thinking about everybody, and I know this is gonna be shocking because I love her to death, but for me it's Whitney.
Yeah, and Tressa said Whitney can go.
Whitney had a beautiful voice. And even though her voice is Whitney's voice and it'll never be duplicated, we got other beautiful voices.
Yeah, I can't not clean my house without having I just want to dance with somebody in the background. I can't part with that. I can't part
We
with
were supposed to be having our final thoughts, and here comes Drake with this garbage question.
A garbage question?
Yeah,
Oh, now I'm done. Now, you know what?
Ask your question, like you say, after all of our stuff. Ask your question, sir. It is 7:31, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on another Friday.
Thank you, everybody.
Elena dodged the question. Y'all see how she got back in. We
That's
love
right.
you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody for watching. Shout out to the lovely Miss Stephanie for joining us again, blessing us all the way from the great state of Texas. You know,
And for everybody that's watching, if you haven't already, make sure you download it on OnPoint Network, so Google Play, so you know you can stay in the loop with all our episodes starting from episode 1. So tell a friend.
On that note, Wakanda forever.
It's just different.